So as you can see, I mean, it cleans out everything beautifully. And I mean, so this is, you know, nice straight vine, but actually not a touch to the pencil rod here. It definitely rips off these spaghetti tubes if they hang too low. Here's a little weak vine, young vine, also not tied up. And even that, so, you know, it hit off some of the old bark, but it didn't damage the trunk. You know, there's no green, no cambium visible. So even these replants here, totally unaffected by it. I mean, these are now 3 years old, I think. So I think, you know, if you continue to use that machine, you probably want to do your replants with ubers like these guys. So that's nice. I didn't catch this thistle, but this is also really on the other side of that little vine. So if you would drive from both sides, you would probably get that one. But so if you look at the rest down the vine row, I mean, it did a beautiful, I swear there was no vine here. Didn't catch this guy here, didn't mess it up a little bit, but you know, it's very fibrous anyway. But yeah, here another one. You can see it peels a little bit of the old dead bark, which may actually be an advantage in terms of mealybug abatement. I'm not sure, that's just a theory I have. But other than that, I mean, here's another relatively young vine. Nicely tied up though, I think that is important, but yeah, it seems not. Here from this side, yeah, it took a little bit of the old bark, but no damage, no wounds, nothing. Same thing here. Didn't catch this thistle quite. It's very close to the trunk, this one, but you know, at least stripped it a little bit. Ideally, that thistle also should never have been that big. I didn't mow this one for this vineyard so I would have something to demo the machine. That was my point. So yeah, it's just like chewed through this dead thistle. Nicely is it mostly pulls out the stuff. This one was a little bit too much, but yeah, other than that, you really see how it cleared the ground, made this really free here, chewed that up and opened that area up. And that was only driven from one side. If I would go now from the other side, this would be, I mean, spiffy. Down here, a couple of young vines, very young vines, I think planted last year. Right here, another thistle. It didn't break it, but it broke. It kind of like whacked it down, whacked it one down too. I mean, at this point, I mean, you know, that's all you want. So here's a mustard. We know it's like crazy fibrous material, and it kind of, it's actually not a mustard. It's a star thistle, but also very. I don't know actually at the moment. I think it's a mustard. But yeah, so it broke sort of like the tips off. You know, it's crazy fibrous at this point. But yeah, it whacked it down pretty good. Looks like it actually broke the root off. But yeah, it really pulls the debris out under the vines. And so here, some young vines. So I mean, really nothing. It's, you know, what is that? It's down here the size of a pencil. No damage, didn't even pull the spaghetti tube out. Here, this one is a little bit bigger. So here's another very, very thin one. You know, really just like thinner than the size of my pinky. And no damage whatsoever. I mean, it didn't even, yeah, you can't even tell. Didn't even strip any bark or anything. And so that has only one tie up here. Down here, it's completely fine. Here's another very thin one. There is just a tiny little bit of damage here, but I mean, nothing to worry about, in my opinion. And you can tell, you know, there's a little bend in the plant, so the bristles hit kind of like straight on here, and yeah, that's where you get damage. So the straighter your trunks are, the better. So I mean, in this vineyard here, that was all uber vines planted, so we have very straight trunks. There's no problem. I'm gonna try it next week in our old vineyards, where we have like very crooked little plants, very low and such. And we're gonna see what it does there. But I mean, here, amazing job. Stay tuned.